Very good afternoon to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is Sunday, 5th November 2023. Yeah? So we'll be commencing with a new book with the title, What is the difference between awareness and consciousness? So this topic is very important. Yeah? Hope you all can benefit by me going through all this once again. This is based on our latest book dated 18th of June 2023. This talk was delivered by me on the Thursday class dated 11 July 2019. That was about 24 years ago. But it's nevertheless still a very important topic. Then somehow there's condition, and Karyamita volunteered to do the transcript. Then we printed this book. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 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 观世音菩萨。Namo 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 阿弥陀佛。Namo 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 弥勒佛。Namo 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 普贤菩萨。Namo 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 地藏王菩萨。Namo 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 佛菩萨。Namo 佛菩萨。Namo 佛菩萨。อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสุขโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิอาดินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาดาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาดัฏฐานะเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิสาธุสาธุสาธุ Okay, let's pay respect to Bhajan. Padang Pujemi. Dhammang Pujami, Sanghang Pujami. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe in their entirety, let the deities and Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakemokadang Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Peso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Eja Charana Sampanno Sugato Lokavido Anotaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Opanaiko Pachyatang Veditabo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Savakasangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savakasangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Savakasangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Savakasangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Savakasangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakkeneyo Anjali Karaneyo Anutarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you can be seated. Now we shall continue our sharing from this new book. What is the difference between awareness and consciousness? These two words are very important. You must develop understanding of it. Okay, we go to the preface. Initially it's the content. Okay, the preface, acknowledgement, then only the title. The pre-puja, awareness-based meditation, post-meditation, Dhamma Sharing, and Dhamma Sharing by Brother Teo on the topic. What is the difference between awareness and consciousness? Then after that, understanding the awareness nature within. This one is very important. Then the real meaning of sati. Then 9 types of consciousness as taught in Mahayana. Against the Theravada tradition where there is only one word, Vijnanam. But as far as the mind is concerned, there are three Pali words that the Buddha used: Mano, Chitta, and Vijnanam. So I also explain the difference, understanding what is Mano, then what is Chitta, and what is Vijnanam. So these are important understanding. Then the three types of right view with regards to the spiritual laws that governs life and existence. They are mainly Karma Niyama, Chitta Niyama, and Dhamma Niyama. The importance of heedfulness, Apamada. Then we also delve into the Abhijja Sutta, the Sutta on ignorance, the origination cycle, and the enlightenment cycle. Then we have the three turnings, wisdom, linking up to Yoniso Manasikara, wisdom at the moment of sense or attention, or wisdom at the moment of sense experience. Manasikara is attention. Yoniso is wisdom. Wisdom at the moment of sense experience where the Manasikara occur, attention occur. Then the five daily contemplation, the three words and the meaning of Anusaya, Asava, and Kilesa. Then we also went into the stages of sainthood. You cultivate according to Avijja Sutta. When you reach stage 6 and 7, or step 6 and 7 of the Avijja Sutta, then you have developed the sainthood way of Sotapanaship and Sakadagamiship before the four foundations of mindfulness can be practiced or cultivated. Then there is also the important emphasis on Dhammanupassana, the fourth foundation of mindfulness, and 7 factors of enlightenment, and also the explanation of the collapse of the mundane mind, how from there on the nature shine forth. Then there is the closing puja at the end, then message by Akayamita, who have been the transcript of the book. And appendix are the summary. We have the audio link, whiteboard link, and the YouTube links. You can see them all at the end of the appendix and the outline short notes. Okay, so now we go to the biodata. Okay, I just read through briefly my biodata. Biodata of Brother Teo. Brother Teo graduated from University of Malaya in civil engineering in the year 1979. He had been a spiritual practitioner, cultivator or meditator since 1971. Since his retirement in 2001 from his engineering career, he has been sharing his understanding and experiences of the Dhamma with those who are keen in their search for true peace, true happiness, and liberation from birth and death and all mental sufferings. With this understanding, it is hoped that they can become more virtuous, nobler, and wiser living beings so that they can be a blessing to all. He gives them a talk, hosts and conducts meditation classes and retreats, and weekly Dhamma classes at various meditation centers, Buddhist society, and places that invite him. For more detail of Brother Teo's Dhamma activity and his Kayamita shift grouping, please visit his Dhamma website at http://broteo.com. Okay, then we go to the preface, I think. Okay, under this preface, I wrote the intent of the donors. So It is Bharatiya's sincere wish that Dhamma friends, spiritual practitioners, seekers of truth and cultivators will be able to make use of this enclosed Dhamma transcript note to develop a better understanding of the Buddha Dhamma as taught by the Buddha, so that they may progress along the path of Dhamma to become more noble, more virtuous, nobler, and wiser human beings, to be a blessing to all of humanity and the world. As these notes were mostly compiled based on transcript from his recording, from the recording of his Thursday class, dated 11 July 2018, the text is aligned as closely as possible to the colonial speech in the talk. However, some editorial amendment has been made to the text without distracting from the essence of the talk to make it more readable with less colloquial connotation. With this, it is hoped that reader can accordingly adjust themselves to better understand its true meaning and intent. A good way to do this is to listen to the recording first before reading the transcript notes. So, to listen to the recording or the audio link, the YouTube link, they are all as below. Or you can also visit our brochure.com website under repository of Dhamma material to view the YouTube video. Alternatively, go to the index page to look for the appropriate links to download them. Okay, then the last one is the acknowledgement. Under acknowledgement, I mentioned it is the donor's sincere intention that this Dhamma transcript notes be shared with those who are interested and have the affinity to receive them. I would like to take this opportunity to thank and rejoice in the generosity and wholesomeness of all those Dhamma friends or Kayamitas who have donated and helped out in one way or other via transcription, formatting, proofreading, Pali words editing, publication, etc. to make this free distribution of Dhammadana possible. Special thanks should be accorded to Brother Beng Lim, Sister Alicia Cheong, Sister Sis Mun Yuen, Sister Lim Po Giam, and Sister Han Po Cheng, who have volunteered and taken the initiative to help prepare the initial draft transcript for my subsequent editing, thereby enabling this Dhamma transcript book to be printed. By the power of all this wholesomeness, may all beings be well and happy, free from all mental and physical suffering and danger, and may there be love, peace, and joy deep within their hearts. And may it also pave the way for there to be causes and conditions for all Dhamma friends who has donated or helped out in one way or other to realize their good and noble wishes or aspirations soon as possible. With metta always by relative, which is me. Okay, so we'll go to the sharing proper. So the title of that day's topic is what is the difference between awareness and consciousness? Okay, so 3.1 is pre-puja chanting. Greetings by Brother Teo. So I said today is 11 July 2019, Thursday class. That was at that time. Let us compose our mind, develop the saddha or faith, virya or spiritual zeal, and sati or mindfulness to commence our pre-puja chanting now. So that one I skip. All the chanting is what we have gone through just now. The pre-puja chanting. So end of puja chanting. Okay, awareness-based meditation. As usual, we will have our half an hour awareness-based meditation. Also at that time, we will turn off the light, and you can proceed with your meditation. So here you have to listen attentively. That time the instruction to do awareness-based meditation was also quite clear and good. You listen. Just relax the body and mind and maintain some form of attention. So do you realize these are the first two support to develop awareness-based meditation? First support is relax body and mind, and maintain some form of awareness or attention. That is the second support. Then we can commence our half an hour of awareness-based meditation. Always remember, awareness-based meditation is to enable us to develop the awareness within. So we just silence our mind, relax body and mind, and maintain awareness. Silent means without thought. So just do that. No need to know or do anything, because the knowing and the doing is always by the thought. So make your mind alert, attentive, and aware. Just aware. Whatever arises, aware, finish. Don't follow. No need to continue with the thinking or mental stirring or proliferation of thought process. Just aware, silent, aware, silent. Yeah. To develop more and more of these moments of awareness. Then allow the awareness to become your main activity. Meaning your mind is most of the time just aware. Whatever object of awareness, in bracket, can be your heartbeat or vibration within your heart area. You use it to anchor your awareness and rest there. Later, when all this activity and movement has become very subtle and still, there is nothing for you to anchor your awareness to. During that time, you just stay around the heart area. Or if you are using your breathing, anapanasati, as your object of meditation, then stay with your anapanasati to develop awareness of the in and out breath, meaning maintaining the awareness. Just aware, like what the Buddha said. Breathing in, aware. Breathing out, aware. Whenever the mind wanders off, bring it back and develop this training of your awareness until your breath becomes very subtle and very still. It's the same whether you start with an object of meditation or straight away start at your heart area or wherever you can place your awareness on. You just stay there. Those of you who are familiar with the rising and falling of the abdomen can also do the same. You can stay there at the abdomen and maintain awareness there. Those are the activities to anchor your mind, to allow your mind to stay there. But finally, you must return to your heart. If that is the case, you might as well go to the heart straight away. But for those who do anapanasati, you don't worry. Ultimately, the anapanasati will take you down to the heart, because the in-breath will take you down to the heart, and from your heart, it will develop the movement outside. When you can stabilize your awareness or sati, your mind will start to become different. You will have no more thought. You are only aware. Whether you are just aware, when you are just aware, you are not thinking. And because you don't think, you become very quiet, very peaceful, and very still. That's how you can develop or experience piti and sukhang, and finally passaddhi, the tranquility and stillness of mind. When everything has become very quiet, very still and very subtle, don't do anything. Just stay at the heart area. Stay there. The heart is now a free mind without any movement of thought. Nothing. Then let it stay there until the mind enters sati. You must develop it until the natures awareness or the awareness nature within is very stable, very still and clear. Until like no more movement of thought, no more sankhara activity. Everything is very quiet and very still. That is your true mind, your meditative mind, your silent mind, your awareness nature within. That is the one you need to realize. Without that, you cannot realize the first hallmark of winning, the sixth precepts. Master Huining said, you must recognize the first hallmark of no thought. 无念的境界. 无念 means without thought. Then inquire, without thought, who are you? What are you? You will understand when you reach that state of mind. That is why the initial training to be aware is very important. Spend time on it, stabilize it. Then as you progress, then you will progress in your meditation. Okay, now I will let you meditate on your own. I will now set the alarm so that you can have your 30 minutes of awareness-based meditation. So this one is at that time. Then I continue. I say, the four support, relax, aware, maintain awareness, and trust for awareness-based meditation are very important. Allow your body and mind to be completely relaxed. Relax means doesn't do anything. Be at ease. Let things be. Whatever arises, just away. Because you are relaxed, all your stress, tension, and whatever tightness and unrelaxed part within your physical and mental, they will slowly adjust themselves and settle down to reach a state of still relaxation and be at ease. Meaning, you are truly relaxed. When you are truly and completely relaxed, it means there is nothing troubling you. Your mind is at peace. Your physical body is without stress, without tension. When the physical body is so relaxed until you are completely without any tension or stress, that is your meditative body. And mind that is just aware and at ease. So I read the last sentence again. When that physical body is so relaxed until you are completely without any tension or stress, that is your meditative mind, or body and mind, that is just aware and at ease. So there is nothing to trouble the mind. You can just let things be, and the awareness nature will stabilize. This awareness nature is your true mind, your inner or true nature, and your meditative silent mind. The awareness nature is very important, and you must stabilize it and realize it. Okay, now I will let you meditate on your own for 30 minutes. And then ting, 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 end of 30 minutes of awareness-based meditation. So don't worry, today after the sharing, we will have 45 minutes. Okay, we will go into the Dhamma discussion proper. Post-meditation Dhamma sharing. You all can now slowly and mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind states you need to live life and to develop the daily mindfulness, to be aware throughout the day leading to heedfulness. So this is very important. The inner awareness. Then Dhamma sharing by Brother Teo on the topic, what is the difference between awareness and consciousness? So I started off by saying this question or topic of discussion is very good. So what is the difference between awareness and consciousness? Understanding these two terms is very important. How many of you understand? Nobody understand? Cannot be after such a long period of sharing. Anybody wants to try to answer it based on what you all have learned. Yes, there is a Sister Ingrid. And Sister Ingrid said, Brother Teo, this is just based on whatever I understand. Then I replied, you should understand, don't worry. Just answer based on what you understand, then it should be correct. And Sister Amy continued, he said, when one is conscious, it does not mean he is aware. This is a very important understanding. Yeah? You see, as a human being, when we are sleeping, most of us, when you are sleeping, you are either unconscious or in your subconscious. Means you are not fully conscious. But when you wake up, you become conscious. Understand? Conscious of what? Conscious of life. Conscious of who you are, what you are. Conscious of what you see, via your seeing consciousness. Conscious of what you hear, your hearing consciousness. Conscious of what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. So the phenomenal world of consciousness, they arise through your sixth sense door. So this is how living beings become conscious. That is how you know the world. And also through the senses, you interact with the world. And this is basic, important Dhamma understanding. Your senses are the most important tools that you have to enable you to know the world and interact with the world and to develop the understanding of life and cultivation. So this statement, when one is conscious, it does not mean one is also aware. It's very important. But when you are conscious of life, you may not be aware within. Aware means there is an inner awareness that is aware inside. From inside, you are aware. Aware of what is going on within your form and mind. Aware of the phenomenal world, the movement, or the activity. So when you are aware, through sati or mindfulness, silently aware and observe, you develop wisdom, you develop understanding. Then you also can witness how your mundane mind arises and how through consciousness you develop the what they call stirring of mind, reaction of mind. We are inputting the content of consciousness which may have the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. Because of your sakayaditi, lack of understanding. So sakayaditi is self-delusion. Once sakayaditi arises, the self-delusion, which is the egoic mind, will condition you to believe you exist, you are real. And because of that, that personality or ego will be developed and enhanced. Then you try to own things, you try to have things, you try to possess and cling on to things, grasp onto things, hold on to things. That's how suffering arises. When you cannot get what you want, when things don't go your way, when the first noble truth, reality hits you, then you suffer. Affliction, fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, lamentation, they can just spring forth and arise. So all this, if you are observant, you can see them. And when you develop emotion, how they come about, through your stirring of mind, through your wrong view, your own delusion, then you will come to realize later on as you continue to observe silent. Then the moment you continue to observe and silent, all these mind state, emotion, they cease to be. Unless you give it meaning, you continue to chase after it, you continue to think about it, develop further entanglement until your suffering, affliction, fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation all arise and haunt you. So this is what the noble truth of suffering is. the first noble truth. Like the Buddha said, in short, it is due to your own sakkayaditthi or self-delusion that condition you to grasp onto this five aggregate of form and mind, or what we call the first aspect as a human being, then the second aspect as the mental five aggregate, which is your thought process. So all this you can see them. Then you can wake up, straighten your view, and reverse all this. So this is part and parcel of awareness-based meditation. Okay, so we go back to the sharing. So the first sentence that Sister Amy stated is very important. When one is conscious, it does not mean he is aware. This is very true. Well, most people are conscious of life, but they are not aware within. So when you are conscious of life, it doesn't mean much. So Sister Amy continue to explain. He may be conscious in the sense that he can hear, he can see, he can feel the tactile sensation and whatever. But it doesn't mean that he is mindful or aware within. He could be in a dreamy state or lost in thought, having worry, anxiety, or excitement, agitation, all this. So when you are lost in thought, you cannot be aware within. And most people are lost in thought because they have developed habitual tendency to be heedless. And the thinking has become so habitual, leading to heedlessness. Then like the Buddha said, the heedless are as if dead. That's why I reply. I say, very good, yes. He could be heedlessly thinking or rattling of the thought process, etc. Thank you, and sadhu. Then there is this brother Adam. He also wanted to share. Then he said, Bratio, we can still have awareness even though we are unconscious. And he asked, right? For example, when we are in a hospital on the operation table or operating table, we can be aware of our surroundings even though we have been put to sleep under anesthesia. Then I said, are you sure you can? When you are unconscious, you are completely knocked out. Means there is no consciousness or you don't have any memory of what happened. What you have heard about is an out-of-body experience, or what they call OBE. OBE means the consciousness come out of the body, out-of-body experience. When the consciousness come out, they can see, they can hear, smell, taste, tactile, and think, etc. They are like aware, but when they speak, the human being cannot hear them or see them. That one, the mind has come out, so it's different. What Sister Amy is trying to explain to you is based on the normal meaning of the words, of this word, awareness and consciousness. You see, as a human being, we can have this conscious moment in life to be conscious. What does conscious of life means? It means you are not asleep, isn't it? You are not in the unconscious or subconscious sleeping mode. But people who meditate, they can go into the sleeping mode yet maintain awareness inside. That is possible that is possible, but you must be very good. Your sati must be very stable, or you must have very stable mindfulness. That's why just now I asked you, when they sedate you, are you sure you can be aware? If you can, I will sadhu you, because that one very few people can do. Then understanding awareness nature within. This is the next title of the sharing, subheading. The inner awareness is an awareness that is within your nature. And this awareness just capable of being aware before the knowing, which can be aware of outside, aware of what is going on within the form and mind. So there is an inner awareness. That awareness has two stages. First stage of awareness is just the normal worldly awareness, which is from within or inside. You are aware of whatever that is going on before the knowing. But most people are not aware because when their thought arises, they are lost in thought and no longer aware. But if you have developed the training of the mind to be aware, you are always with your true mind. And your inner awareness is very stable and very different. Very, very different. That one can be aware of your thinking, your thought process, your consciousness, your whatever movement, whether physical or mental movement or even nature's movement. This type of awareness has two modes. First is the specific phenomenal awareness mode. It is just aware of the phenomena. Means the awareness and the phenomena move as one. The other one is awareness that is completely silent within. It is the silent inner awareness without a center, or we call it the spacious awareness without a center. Your awareness has become one with nature, the oneness nature. It has merged into the surrounding. It's just a oneness nature because there is no center from which it will dwell. It has merged with the oneness. So those are the two modes of awareness. The second stage of awareness is the much more refined spiritual awareness born of the supramundane mind. Means when your mundane mind has collapsed, this second stage of awareness will arise. And this one is not the normal superficial awareness. This one is born of your supramundane mind that shine forth and develop the ability to be aware. Okay, 3.3.1.2, the next subtitle, the real meaning of sati. So this one you must listen. Unless you understand the real meaning of sati, very difficult for you to meditate or develop the true understanding of awareness-based meditation. Awareness is equivalent to sati. So the real meaning of sati is to be in a state of awareness before the knowing. When you are mindful or aware, that pure awareness before the knowing is sati. This is the reason why a lot of people fail to understand what consciousness is. Consciousness comes from the word conscious. When you become conscious, it means you are not in the sleeping mode. Then after you wake up, you become conscious. Conscious of what? Conscious of life, isn't it? Because you start to live life. You start to be in activity. So you are conscious of life, conscious of living. And you have your senses. And you have these senses in your body that can allow you to be conscious of what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. So these six types of sense bases can give rise to their respective six types of sense of consciousness. Then the next subheading is the ninth type of consciousness as taught in Mahayana. So this one, when I go through, you can understand. In the Mahayana tradition, they taught the nine types of consciousness. But they usually taught and discussed are only the 8 types of consciousness. And because of this, Mahayana teaching are like very impressive. They will impress you with this 8 type of consciousness. They always start with the 6 consciousness, 第六色. Then they talk about the 7 consciousness, 第七色. And the 8 consciousness, 第八色. But for Theravada tradition, we only know of one word, Vijnanam. And consciousness is always defined as Vijnanam. But this word is very deep in its meaning. That's why when it comes to the aggregates of mind, the Buddha always used the Pali word Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana to refer to feeling aggregate, perception aggregate, mental states or mental formation or mental activity aggregates, and consciousness respectively. And understanding Mano, Chitta, and Vijnana. There is another Pali word called Chitta. So what is the difference between Vijnana and Chitta? Then there is also another Pali word, Mano. When the Buddha taught the Dhammapada verses 1 and 2, he always used the Pali word Mano and say, mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. Mind make a day. So here Mano is mind, the mundane mind or the thinking mind. Then when it comes to the four foundations of mindfulness, the Buddha used the word Chitta Nupassana. And what is Chitta Nupassana? Mindfulness of what? Mindfulness of the content of consciousness. So this Chitta is basically your thought, and it arises after the content of consciousness went in. This Vijnana, if you check the 12 link of the Paticca Samuppada or the law of dependent origination teaching, the first two links are Avijja Paccaya Sankara. Then Sankara Paccaya Vijnana. This is the one. This Vijnana is the third link. This one is just the pure Vijnana or consciousness without the content yet. Once the content goes in, it becomes Vijnana Paccaya Namarupa or Namarupa. This Namarupa is the thought, the mental five aggregates of form and mind. This is the one the Buddha is interested in. In the Paticca Samuppada teaching, this Namarupa is what the thought is all about. When you input the content of consciousness, this Vijnana becomes conditioned into the five aggregates of form and mind. This Vijnana, which is the pure consciousness, will become the thought once the content of consciousness goes in. Reason why the Buddha said, in the seeing, there is only the seeing consciousness, no one to see as yet. The egoic mind hasn't come in yet. At this stage, the content hasn't gone into the Vijnana. So what is happening is, due to ignorance or avijja, or dependent or ignorant or avijja, there is one thing to know, one thing to understand, and experience. We start to think. Then what is thinking? Thinking is Sankara activity. Thinking means you establish contact with the brain, where you go to the brain and then you try to make contact to think or retrieve through memory. Then like the physics experiment analogy, what happened? The light bulb lights up. The lighting up is like the mental consciousness. So this Vijnana is mental consciousness without the content as yet. Like in the physics experiment, the lighting up is like you become conscious. But like the Buddha explained, in the seeing is only the seeing consciousness. There is no one inside there to see. There is no one inside there to be conscious of whatever. But there is an awareness that can be aware of all this movement. So this awareness, which is beyond thought, beyond mind, can see the consciousness, can see the content going in. Because all these are the byproduct of that pure awareness. From that pure awareness, it triggers off through the sense basis, the dependent origination theory or the dwelling, Paticca Samuppada movement. So when you understand this, you will understand the teaching and it becomes like relatively simple. So this Vijnana is mental consciousness without the content as yet. Then from here, through your perception and brain's conditioning, You input the content of consciousness through your sankara activity. Then with your views, your opinion, your conditioning, etc., you stir and react with your mind. So you will develop this reaction and stirring of mind. All these have mental intention within. That's why all these create karma. We are karmic consciousness. So this chitta, the thought, has the content of consciousness. And this content can be wholesome or unwholesome. Means kusala or akusala chitta, dependent on the mental intention that is inputted. And this is what karma is all about. But in Theravada tradition, they tend to use this word chitta, mano, and vijnana without much understanding regarding their difference. Most cultivators can't understand their difference. Sometimes they interuse these three words without proper or clear understanding. So the Mahayana teaching explains the various 9 types of consciousness is very good. For Theravada tradition, they only know of this one equivalent word, vijnana. But if cultivator can understand the true penetrative teaching of the Theravada tradition, then they can also understand this Mahayana teaching, because essentially there is no difference. Basically, it's just understanding how the 5 aggregates of form and mind can also give rise to the 8 types of consciousness as taught in Mahayana. So the first 5 types of consciousness are relatively easy to understand. They are your 5 basic physical senses or sense door consciousness. You have your 5 physical senses. You have your eye, which can give rise to seeing consciousness. So seeing, hearing, smell, taste, and tactile or touch consciousness are the first 5 types of consciousness. Then what is the 6th consciousness? It is sanya, perception. What happens is when you see something, initially, like what the Buddha said, in the seeing, there is only the seeing consciousness, no one to see as yet. That is the pure consciousness, like the light bulb analogy, using the physics experiment. The light bulb just light up upon contact of the battery and bulb and the switch. This lighting up of the bulb is a natural phenomenon. It's like make us conscious. Excuse me. Make us conscious of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and what we tactily feel. This is the pure consciousness without its content. This pure seeing or perception is like in the case of a newborn baby whose brain has got nothing. It cannot input any content because there is no conditioning, no views, no opinion, no learning as yet. So this is a pure mental consciousness that just arises naturally. After that, what do the human being and you do? Take for example, when you look at the painting or the Buddha image over there, unless your mindfulness or sati is very stable, you cannot be at the moment of pure seeing before the perception. Can you do that? Very few people can do it. Because the moment you see, you will perceive as you are so conditioned. And how do you see? You label through words, through concept and ideas. Hence, you never really see. If you really see, means seeing things as they are, in bracket. We are the direct seeing. That thing has no word. That is the pure or direct seeing of an enlightened being. That's why you heard of what they mention in Mahayana, Kan San Pu Si San, because there is no words, no concept, no idea. There is a reason why the Buddha said, in the seeing, there is only that seeing consciousness, no one to see as yet. Then the perception comes in, you start to perceive. So the 6th consciousness is perception. This perception links all the first 5 consciousness together with the brain. They are all connected to the mind, which is the common denominator. So when the mind perceives, this 6th consciousness arises And perception is the aggregate of mind that brings the external form into the mind. And this external form is the sense data. At the moment of perception, there is the sixth consciousness. After that, what happened? Because you have this brain with its views, opinion, and conditioning, etc., it will cause the mind to stir deludedly. Because this brain, before you are enlightened, is still egoic. The egoic mind is a seventh consciousness, which is also the discriminating mind. After you perceive, what happened? Your brain, your memory, with its conditioning, views, opinion, and belief system, etc., they will come out and act. And because you are not enlightened as yet, this mind is egoic, hence it is discriminative. It will develop discrimination of like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant reaction of mind. That is how the mind stirs. We are creating mental hindrance of sensual desire, which are your likes, and ill will, your dislike. Every moment of consciousness, when you see something, your mind tends to stir. Because there is preference, born of your like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant reaction of mind. So if throughout the day, at every moment of seeing, hearing, smell, taste, tactile, and your thought process, you react and stir your mind, then what happens? You are creating mental hindrance all the time until it becomes habitual. This is what habitual tendencies are all about. When habitual tendency develops, it becomes latent. Then they call it latent tendency or anusaya in Pali. Very latent, like automatic. Immediately you see, straight away you will react. It's like reflex action happening so fast because you are so conditioned. So this seven consciousness is the one that creates karma. It creates karmic during this time. But the intensity depends on the full movement, which is the eight consciousness. This eight consciousness, the Mahayana call it the alaya or storehouse consciousness, storing up all the karmic accumulation. This eight consciousness is the resultant of the seven consciousness, because this seven consciousness is like an organ. Why is it termed the organ? It's because the perception that brings in the external sense data can trigger off the eight consciousness. But this one, even though it is the organ, the brain, it is also the one that creates the discriminative views. So this egoic and discriminative mind is basically your mundane mind. They call it an organ. It's for you to develop understanding. So the perception brings in the external sense data, then upon contact of the mind, trigger of the seven consciousness, and the thought, which is the eight consciousness. Have you heard of mental concording via Sankara Sanya? Sanya is perception and Sankara is mental activity or thinking. The moment you think or the moment you perceive, you think. The moment you perceive, you think. So you create concoction of the mind all the time. This is what happened. And the 6, 7, and 8 consciousness, they move so fast. Unless you are mindful, you cannot see them. But when you have the stability of mindfulness, you can be at the moment of consciousness before the content go in. You can even be at the moment of content of consciousness when it's input and forming this namaru. You can see them. The whole chitta, the thought, you can see them. Then before you stir your mind via your views, opinion, and conditioning, you can also be aware of all this mental movement. That is how you can come to understand why the unenlightened living being act according to memories. And why acting according to memory is not acting at all. Because that is the only instrument they know how to act with. Most of you act through what? Your views, your opinion, your knowledge, and memory, isn't it? including all your conditioning and belief system, etc. That is the only instrument, you know. But after you have understood the Dhamma, the truth, you are supposed to have wisdom and Dhamma understanding. That is why you must act according to this Dhamma understanding and wisdom, following the Dhamma way. And that is true action. But how many of you can act that way? Hardly any. We are most cultivators, first and second turning wisdom. The initial wisdom, or what we call Yoniso Manasikara, is not stable yet. It cannot come out and prompt them to act wisely. Instead, one straight away retrieve from memory and act based on what? Your fear, your phobia, your worry, your anxiety, your delusion, your selfishness, etc. We are your egoic mind, which is deluded and discriminative. You will start to see all this at the beginning of your cultivation. And when your stability of daily mindfulness come to be, you will see all this more clearly. Then you will naturally start to straighten your view, to act according to wisdom. And you will not do all those foolish and deluded things anymore. Well, all this doing brings about the wrong thoughts. And what are wrong thoughts? Thoughts that condition your fear, your worry, your anxiety, your sorrow, your lamentation, your insecurity, etc. And all this leads to suffering. That's how wrong thought make you miserable. Then we come to the next subheading, 3 types of right view. Reason why in the teaching the Buddha said you must have right thought, following the Noble Eightfold Path, born of right view. And what are these right views? Is right understanding born of wisdom. Reason why you need to act according to right understanding and wisdom leading to true action, which means you act following Noble Eightfold Path, starting with the right view and right understanding, you act. And there are 3 major areas of right view or right understanding. They are right understanding or right view with regards to the law of karma niyama. So this one we have gone through. That is how the advice of the Buddha comes about, how his teaching comes about, and how the precept he taught comes about, and how the Noble Eightfold Path and the whole of his other teaching also come about. Then from the second right view is right. The second right view is right view with regards to how you function as a human being, following the Paticca Samuppada or dwelling, term Chitta Niyama. The nature's order of mind. Chitta is mind. How the mind function following the 12 links or the Paticca Samuppada teaching of the Buddha. It's the law of dependent originating teaching. Then the third one is right view with regards to the essential Dhamma, all of truth, and the Dhamma that the Buddha has taught us, which is termed Dhamma Niyama. So these 3 right views of Karma Niyama, Chitta Niyama, and Dhamma Niyama are very powerful and very important right views or truth. These 6, 7, and 8 consciousness are nothing more than our 5 aggregates of form and mind. The moment the 6 consciousness arise is still the pure perception, the pure sanya, no discrimination as yet. But the moment you act according to your views, opinions, and conditioning and belief system, then the egoic mind or discriminative mind surfaces. This is where all the problems start. This is where all the wrong thought, the discrimination, the stirring of the mind happen. This reaction and stirring of mind arises because this one means the former mind is still unenlightened, hence without wisdom. But the moment you are enlightened, even as a Sotapan, you will have the right understanding. Because the first 3 factors of self-delusion, doubt, and attachment to right and richer are already severed. They already know that this former mind is not real, not a permanent and changing entity, and that that you can cling onto, grasp onto, and hold onto as the me and the I. Where this ego, the egoic mind, has been attenuated until like it has the understanding that there is nobody inside. It will then also understand anicca, dukkha, anatta. That's why when you are a sotapan, the first stage of sainthood, you are already saved. But there are still other factors that can affect you. Where the sotapan still has sensual desire, ill will, and aversion, but not that strong. The moment they realize Sakadagami, the second stage of sainthood, their sensual desire and aversion are attenuated, means very little left. That is why the moment you become anagami, the third stage of sainthood, sensual desire and ill will are completely rooted out. Then during that time, the last 5 fetters, they still must work on it until finally the last fetters of avijja is also rooted out. The last 5 fetters are attachment to form and formless jhanas, mana or minor conceit, restlessness of mind, and avijja. The moment all these last 5 factors are rooted out, this discriminative mind no more, where it has awakened, and the 5 aggregate of form and mind will become pure aggregate, no more grasping. Do you know what pure aggregates is? Pure because it is non-grasping, no more egoic mind to grasp and cling at feeling, cling at what you perceive, cling at your mental activity or sankhara, mind state, that are being conditioned into. Then whatever you become conscious of through your 8 consciousness, you will not be deceived because of your awareness and wisdom. Then you will know how to act, and you will know how to input the pure content of consciousness. So these are the 8 types of consciousness the Mahayana teaches. They are just a 5 aggregate of form and mind, no more than the 6 consciousness, which is sanya aggregate, the 7 consciousness, which is sankhara aggregate, and the 8 consciousness. The 7 consciousness is the sankhara aggregate or the egoic mind, the discriminative mind. It's basically sankhara, mental activity or mental concording. This mental concording is very active and you are heedless before you develop the ability to be aware and mindful. You cannot see all this that was explained up there because they act very fast. Split second you already get angry, become emotional and fearful, and maybe you want to hit out at others. So okay, the next part is importance of heedful. Okay, we stop here. We stop here. I will mark this page here. So remember the 4 support, especially the first 3. Relax, maintain awareness, then stabilize the awareness. Then the last one is for those who already have the understanding, the stability of inner mindfulness to do. Means you develop the 4 support, trust. Stay at your heart area, then relax, maintain awareness, then let the nature, awareness nature, detect the gateway, or whatever vibration, or your heartbeat. Just let it detect it, then let it develop the movement by itself. No more interference by the thought process. You can slowly, mindfully come out of meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Okay? Okay. Now that we have covered up to page 18 of this book, what is the difference between awareness and consciousness? I think by now most of you are quite clear. These 2 words are very different, but in terms of English language, I think it has been interused without much understanding. Yeah. Because when people who don't have the spiritual understanding or meditative understanding, to them, to be aware is the same as to be conscious, but it's actually different because the words are very specific. When we become conscious, it's just a mental image that we perceive through consciousness. Whereas the one that is aware is from our inner nature. Our inner nature, before the arising of thought, is just a pure awareness nature. That's why that is the first thing that come out from our inner nature. Yeah. The Buddhist teaching has this, the Buddha nature, the true nature, the original nature. Yeah. Then sometimes they call it the unconditioned, or they also sometimes call it the oneness nature. Yeah. Or even the scientists, they now also use the word the singularity or the source. So all these are various words to name the unnamable, which is that nature which each and every one of us actually belong to. From there, all things arise, and to there, all things return. So that one which is the unconditioned, you cannot talk about, cannot describe. The first thing to come out is the pure awareness. So this pure awareness is within each and every one of us. The moment we are born with the form and mind, or the moment we arise with the form and mind, the vehicle and the tool, that nature within is already there. So that's why when you are aware from there, it's before the arising of the mundane mind, before the knowing, before the perception, before the thinking activity starts, before the emotion, before the aggregates of mind come in to create the phenomenal world of consciousness. So that is a very important understanding. When you understand that, you understand creation. You understand how living being, from that pure awareness nature, you created the mundane consciousness through your senses. We have our physical senses. The main one are the 5 physical senses: the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, tactile. These 5 are basic physical senses. Then we have the brain, which is the 6th sense door. So this brain is responsible for consciousness, where it can perceive through memory. It can become conscious of what one sees, what one hears, smell, taste, tactile, and the thinking process or the thought consciousness. So these are the 6 sense door, or they can give rise to the 6 type of correspondent dependent originating consciousness. So this 6 type of corresponding dependent originating consciousness is how we know the world, how we can interact with the world. And this is the process of creation. That's why from the pure awareness, the aggregate of mind goes in, then perception brings forth the knowing. And the knowing is always through your senses. You know through what you see is the seeing consciousness, or through what you hear, the hearing consciousness. That's why you see in the TV or in the film show or whatever. We always talk about sight and sound. This refers to our seeing consciousness and hearing. So the sight and sound, which are the marvel of the world, where everything you can see can be so beautiful, pristine beauties and wonders of nature. And the music, the sound of music, the sound of nature, the vibration of nature, they are in such harmony, such beauty, as opposed to the distorted vibration. So everything that we come to perceive through our senses, they are very pristine, very beautiful. Then the lesser use are the smell, taste, tactile. Although it's part and parcel of our human psyche or the human condition. But the brain is the most active, because through the perception aggregate, it triggers off this six sense door. And because they are dependent originating, 6 times 3, they become the 18 sense run. So these 3 are the conditions you need for the respective consciousness to actually manifest or create itself. So first there must be contact. Contact between what? The consciousness that is trapped within, and the sense basis. Then there must be the sense data. So contact, sense basis, sense data. Upon contact, it triggers off the respective consciousness. So these are the causes and conditions. That's why they are all dependent originating. Seeing is dependent originating. Hearing is dependent originating. That's why at the retreat I share with you all. The eye alone doesn't see. The mind alone doesn't see. Seeing is the resultant of a lot of causes and conditions behind. You must have an eye that is functioning. You must have sense data. There must be light. Then your attention must be focused on that sense door to give rise to the contact. And then only it triggers the respective sense door consciousness. So this whole process of dependent origination, they occur very fast, split second. That's why at the moment of seeing, straight away, you stir, you react, you become emotional. And a lot of things already happen. So without mindfulness, you cannot cope, you cannot understand, you cannot deal with sense door experiences. So this is the reason why sati or mindfulness is very, very important. Okay? So with this understanding, maybe now we can open up for meditation, reporting, followed by whatever question you all may have, Q&A session, followed by finally, of course, Dhamma discussion, Dhamma in daily life.
Yeah, good evening, Kayamita, brother, Mrs. Teo.
So you want to ask any question or share anything on today's discussion?
Brother Teo, because my level is very shallow.
Don't worry.
So
It's nothing to do with that. Whatever you want to understand, you can ask.
The consciousness, the Mahayana, so many all I definitely don't understand. But I think, brother Teo, I try whether consciousness is generally everybody when they are they are awake.
When they are awake, conscious, when they not
So long
asleep,
as they are not sleeping,
then they can become conscious.
yes, they are
Conscious of
conscious.
what? Conscious of life, understand or what?
Conscious of outside
Conscious of what
things.
you see, what
What you
you
hear,
hear,
your
what you
tactile,
smell,
what
what
you
you taste,
smell,
what
your
you
tongue
tactily
touch.
feel, and your
Yes,
thought.
yes.
Consciousness. This is how you know the world, how you interact with the world. This is how you create the phenomenal world of consciousness for you to live on, for you to give meaning to. And if you are deluded, you attach, you cling, you grasp. Do you see that now?
Yeah. So
That is the consciousness part. So that's why perception of form through your senses using the mundane mind is consciousness. Understand or not?
mm,
So
so
that one is very easy to understand. Isn't it? Every human being has the ability. Right?
yes, so long as they
That
are
one
not
is
in
awareness.
not so, Brother Teo, so long as they are not sleeping, they are not coma in the hospital, that type, they are
Correct.
conscious. But
Then what is
awareness,
awareness?
ah,
To be aware is
awareness,
what?
generally a person, if he or she aware, definitely that person is conscious, not in sleeping. No, I cannot. People, Brother
Definitely.
Teo,
But
you see
sometimes
people,
when you are in the sleeping mode,
you
subconscious
can
or
be aware.
unconscious, the awareness can be there.
Yeah, that is very
The
high level.
meditator, the cultivator can be aware despite the body sleep, the body
Ah,
rest. But the
yes.
awareness nature is always there. So that part, don't worry. But what we want to understand is the initial understanding, the normal awareness and consciousness. Because when you are conscious, you can also be aware within, understand or not? You
Yes.
understand or not? Like just I
For
explained, from our source or the original nature or true nature or Buddha nature, the first thing to come out is what? The first thing to come out is what? The four circle, the second one.
oh.
What is that thing?
Uh
First thing to
the
come out from that nature is what? The pure.
pure awareness.
So that pure awareness is the one before the knowing. You understand?
Ah, this is awareness, Brother Teo, is it? The
Means you
starting.
stay inside, you don't allow the thought to arise, silent, then you are aware, understand? But the
Brother Teo,
moment
when
you
this
perceive, you out of the awareness already, and you are creating the mundane perception, mundane consciousness. Unless you have the mindfulness, which is very stable, you can still develop the direct seeing. That is the pure seeing. Understand? That is still awareness, specific phenomenal awareness or spacious awareness without a center. So now you can follow.
yes, this one I
So you
understand.
go into the pure awareness means you silence your mind, don't try to know, don't try to do anything, relax, maintain awareness. So just aware before the knowing, before the arising of thought, before you perceive, before you label, before you give meaning. That's why
So
you must do that. Then
Brother
you
Teo,
understand the difference.
for this state, these people, they have no words to come out on whenever they see anything, right?
Yes, but you are so conditioned. That's why immediately you see, you perceive through memory. Understand? Or? That's why
Yeah,
you
then the
cannot
words
be
come
at the
out.
moment of pure seeing. That's why the creation straight away, the paticca samuppada move ahead. You understand? Or? That's why to most people, the untrained mind or the heedless one, before they are enlightened, before they develop the mindfulness stability, they always create the perception. Then from there, the whole movement of paticca samuppada, the mundane consciousness with its content, come out and stir. Then the like and dislike, the pleasant and unpleasant sense experience, then the grasping, the clinging, the holding on. So all this is what the Buddha is trying to teach you all to develop the understanding so that you can see all this process of creation very clearly. Then you are not deluded by the dependent originating or condition arising phenomena, which can be consciousness in the form of the various manifestation. Like you can be conscious of all of the six sense activity. So this phenomenal world, they can actually be classified into three types of phenomena. One is basic physical phenomena within our physical activity, physical bodily activity. Then we
Okay,
can
good.
also be conscious or aware of our mental activity, or the mental thinking, perception, feeling, emotion, the moment of consciousness. All these are mental phenomena. Then we can also be aware
Nature.
or conscious of
Nature.
nature's phenomena.
Nature.
There are a lot of things that arise within nature. So you have to understand what is a phenomenon. The definition in the English dictionary is very good. Whatever that you can perceive
Perceived by the mind.
by the mind, anything perceivable by the mind is a phenomenon. So whatever you come to know through perception is a phenomenon. You can perceive your physical activity is a physical phenomenon. You can perceive your mental activity is a mental phenomenon, mental movement. You can perceive your nature's phenomena within, out of you, or within your physical form and mind. They are all the nature's movement, activity, uh, and various type of phenomena that you can perceive through your senses, through your mind. So this is how you slowly develop the understanding. And I can explain to you all this is because I went into the awareness nature, I developed it, that's why I understand. And I saw the creation process. I saw how this one from the pure awareness come out and develop the five aggregate of form and mind. Then from there, like I draw the third circle, you develop the movement of the phenomenal world of consciousness, means the fourth circle. That's how life existence comes to be. So the phenomenal world of consciousness, the last circle, is also where all the activity of life and existence are. That's why I put there existential world or the phenomenal world of consciousness. Uh, so when you understand all this, to meditate is to return all this, the external phenomenal world that one create, back to the mundane mind. Then you realize it is from this mind that project out, like the projector. No reality. He know you, he know me. Anicca dukkha anatta. He has its characteristic. And they are all dependent originating, not a permanent unchanging entity. Learn to see all this, understand all this. Then when you return everything to mind, then you realize you don't think, you don't perceive, you don't develop the activity of the senses, the phenomenal world doesn't exist. Understand? It ceases to be. But the moment your senses are active, fully engaged, then all this become like real. Then you have to contemplate, reflect, inquire. What are all these? It's just an illusionary world, phenomenal world of consciousness. It's just mental images appearing and disappearing. And the form and mind deludedly grasp, cling, hold, believing that it's permanent. They exist. So see all this, then wake up. Then allow the mundane mind to realize itself and cease. Then it returns to the pure awareness. At the stage of the pure awareness, you can develop the pure awareness, which is the mindfulness, stability of it. Then you realize you are nobody, you are nothing. Then from the pure awareness, you develop the straightening of the view, the direct seeing, the wisdom, everything. Paticca Samuppada. How you become emotional, how your mind stir and make you uh, entangle, how you grasp and cling, how the paticca samuppada, the dwelling comes to be, how suffering comes to be, then the cause behind is arising. All this you will understand. And through all this understanding, your mind can actually cease. That's how you realize nibbana, enlightenment in the here and the now. Can follow? Yeah?
Yeah, Brother Teo. Yeah.
Sadhu. This time clearer to you, isn't
I
it?
do. Yeah.
Otherwise, you cannot understand. That's why go back and listen to this sharing again. This part. This part is
Yeah.
very
Is Brother Teo, this one is without the complication of the Mahayana, so many type of consciousness, so it's much simple.
Definitely lah, because you never investigate, understand now, and you don't have the mindfulness stability yet. That's why all this you cannot see. Even after I explain already, you still cannot grasp it. Because what you need is just very basic, simple, like day-to-day language to develop the understanding. That's why I am moving into that is because I realize those who don't have so much of the conditioning and they didn't really have much idea of what meditation is, they can develop the understanding. Then after that, you must develop the faith, understand or not? To try it out, to develop the awareness nature. Is your house there raining?
Thunderstorm, Brother Teo, going to.
Very loud, just now. You hear or not? When I was
Yeah,
sharing
I
this
hear
part.
yours. My side just now I mute also, but still very loud lah. The thunderstorm.
Very loud. Now still very loud. They are rejoicing, I tell you. This type of teaching, you cannot find one, I tell you. Well, now the explanation is getting into the thing deeper and deeper so that Kayamita can develop understanding faster. Where it's no more about the words and all those things. It's about day-to-day understanding. Understand? Because we only need to know self-knowledge. How do we function as a human being? The sixth sense door. And the first thing that come out from that nature is awareness. So when you are aware before the knowing, you are nobody, you are nothing. That's why I always ask you, without thought, who are you? You are nothing. You are nobody. But the thought is the egoic mind that creates the entity, the identification, the ego, the personality, the sakayaditi. So without that, you cannot even think. Understand? There is no word, no concept, no idea, nothing. Who are you? Nothing. Understand? But the form and mind is part of your karmic conditioning that trigger off through the karmic nature. That's why it's called a vehicle and tool for you to come. But this is not you. Understand? Well, every time you come, every segment you come, it's a different segment. Understand? Which one is you? Of all the aeons and aeons of manifestation, the birth and death. None of them are you. But they are related to you through your karmic nature. Understand? And this is the vehicle that one needs for one to come to this existential world. That's why this secret of life, very few people understand. And because of this, that's why there must be this karmic nature and the spiritual nature. That's why the Buddha said, if it's not because of the existence of the unconditioned, escape from the conditioned world will be impossible. So all these are very important understanding. Hopefully, slowly, you all can.
Sadhu, Brother Teo.
Sadhu, sadhu, very good.
You're very happy to be able to listen to the Dhamma today. And when I see the Brother just now also, I felt very happy.
Yeah,
happy because
definitely. For you can understand where you attended the retreat and you also have developed some form of progress on the awareness thing.
I the day not a lot of people know I only tell Brother and maybe Chin Hao and Jayanta that I was warded. So actually when I warded that time, when I went to the hospital that time, I was really feeling okay. Nothing
based
really.
on your description.
Because before that I have palpitation. It was
which is
very,
normal
very
when
fast.
you are still working and at around your age. This type of palpitation will happen. Actually, there are many who 30 or years old also have all this because the heartbeat like run very fast. Then they don't
Oh,
know what it is. So it's good to go in water and let them have a check. Then you rest in the hospital. Then you contemplate. Uh, in the
yeah,
hospital, you have a lot of time to contemplate. Then
yeah, very,
develop the
mm,
understanding, the inquiry. Uh, and it is a nice like break from the work, the schedule, typical career environment. Mm. So you were there for 3 days or what?
Sunday I was there. Then Wednesday afternoon I was discharged.
Oh, 4 days, just nice.
Yeah,
All
but
day.
they say everything is okay, but I still have to go back to do further tests,
No
which is
problem.
ah
The follow up is normal. You were at which UH?
yes, UH. I went there because I went through the emergency.
Yeah, easier because your record are all there. I think your parents are all there.
Yeah, but
Uh,
it's quite not bad also. Then later on when I was warded, they give me a two-bedded room, so
wow,
okay
not
lah.
bad, huh? 2%
Yeah,
to a room.
yeah, not bad. And
Oh,
it
very
was
good.
at
That's
the
very
new
good.
wing, the Menara Selatan there.
Yeah. Very good. Sadhu.
Yeah,
Actually, the UH
yeah. So
facility is actually very good, compatible to most private hospital. Where I visited some Kayamita who went in for maybe some surgery procedure or those things. I remember last time, the last I went and meet out was uh, Sister Joyce. I think she had the removal or something. So I saw the facility. Surprisingly, it was so much better now. They have actually upgraded a lot of their facility. And UH is a good hospital where there is a lot of specialists. They also have their research, academic, and all those things.
mm,
Which is I think very good mix as a hospital. There is also a teaching hospital with all the lecturers from the medical faculty, and even the dentistry faculty is also there. Yeah, I was in charge of MU before. I know.
yes, the facility there is quite good.
Yeah,
All the testing machine like
yeah,
ECG, blood test,
correct. Yeah,
uh,
quite
the
modern.
CT scan, everything, and then they keep on coming and test me like for, I think every 3 hours. I take my
Which is
blood lah.
the
Yeah,
normal procedure, which is very good. Their standard practice.
yeah. But I wasn't really worried there at all lah, but just
That's
that
nothing because you already know the moment they admit you, you already habit everything normal already. But it's good to go in and let them do all the whatever type. You may not know what could have happened because at your age, I think 50 or 50 plus a bit, it's normal to have this type of palpitation. Sometimes it's a sign that you need to have more rest and all those things. So be mindful, aware, and take things like more lightly. Don't allow stress to develop. Because sometimes you may not know without you being fully aware of the subtle fear and worry that manifests, which to you is like you don't have already. But this subtle one lingering behind you don't know. Then sometimes because you have a lot of uh, maybe workload or whatever that comes by, then you try to like finish it off by working a bit late, or sometimes at home you spend time doing it, then you don't have enough rest. When you don't have enough rest, this type of thing can happen. That's why during my working career, I relax a lot, I meditate a lot. I also went through all this at your age, but at your age, I think nothing much. Well, I retire before your age. That's why I didn't really experience that phase. I retired at the age of 40 plus. But at 40 plus, I was quite tactful, where I was very mindful. I need to rest, I rest on. I do not unnecessarily like stress myself. But sometimes it is important, urgent. I do spend some time finishing off, maybe 1 or 2 days of working a bit later, and then after that, just rest. Uh, and for my case, because I already standardized a lot of things, and apart from meeting, I will be free. If I don't have meeting, most of the time I'm free on, because the system like run by itself already at that time. And when I was in the private sector, the consulting side, and later on in the uh, public listed company, that time I think not much uh, what they call high level stress don't have one. Actually, if you don't know how to handle the career life, it can be very stressful. But for me, because I was very good, I was very experienced, and maybe I have the Dhamma, the mindfulness, and I know how to deal with all this. My workload was a lot, my workload, and I have to deal with many things. But I find it easy. That's why I resolve everything. And when the time come, after my daughter Sui, the eldest one, graduate, I call it a day. Then I put in my notice. Uh, After the exam finish, I put in my notice. Actually, I supposed to retire around, I think, March. Then they extend it. They say, no, no, 3 months too short. I say, okay. At the most, I give you 6 months. Then it was agreed 6 months. So 6 months. That's why in May, I retired. So good. This is what understanding can brings about. Manyan? You go through, you experience, then you learn. Then in future, you can advise people.
Yeah, but it's comforting to know that this is normal, that other working people also
Yeah,
experience.
a lot of other working people also go through one. And
Yeah.
there are many who are worse than this. Because they got fear, they got phobia. Then
Oh,
they went into depression.
I,
Then they develop chronic disease.
uh,
Because the cell mutate through the fear, the worry, the anxiety. Uh, that one is really affliction or suffering, misery. For us
mm,
with the Dhamma, we are lucky. So we are aware, we are sensitive. So all this cannot actually do us any, I should say, condition us into negativity of fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow. We know how to confront it, we know how to deal with it, and we know how to relax into it when the time comes.
mm. Yeah, Bharati, I think earlier I was trying to, find out the source of the palpitation. I was
Oh,
thinking, how come it happened?
yeah.
Then I think
Uh,
yesterday, then I realized, yeah, like what Brother Teo said, like
uh,
the workload,
the workload,
yeah,
annoying,
it is the
the
workload. Yeah.
subtle defilement at the back, you cannot see the subtle
Mm,
fear, the subtle worry, the stress that accumulate and build up. Then it starts to happen.
yeah.
But no problem. The moment you understand, because as your mindfulness develop, you are more sensitive. You can detect them very fast. That's why
Mm,
at the slightest, what they call stress or very subtle movement of the what they call mind into the uh, I call it the very subtle like and dislike or aversion or what, very subtle one, even behind that normal people cannot see on. But you develop the ability to be aware on. Then you will know, enough already. Okay, rest,
yeah.
relax. Because
Yeah.
that is life, that is nature, understand? Yeah, it's just work. If I'm okay, if I'm in the normal state of health, then I continue. Otherwise, why should I, at the expense of my health, go and stress myself out unnecessary? That's why under the Karaniya Metta Sutta, you remember the Buddha said, of little duty. Uh, so don't take upon yourself so much duty, workload. No point. Simplify them. Develop the understanding. Standardize them. Then learn to delegate. Get other people to help you and do for you. And then distribute out the workload. Then you reach a point where you think too many coming. Then tell your boss. Very easy. Which one is more important? Priority. You let me know. Well, I can only do so much, understand, in a day. If the deadline is unrealistic, then be honest about it. Tell the boss, I think you need to get somebody else to help out, or otherwise somebody else to take over, because so much of this workload, which is priority, you let me know. I will just handle what is priority. Then the rest, either you get me staff to help me to actually delegate all this workload out, or somebody else to take over part of what I'm doing. Otherwise, it's going to have backlog, and maybe the company, or in your case, is your office, they will accumulate what they call outstanding workload that cannot be uh, uh, completed in time and schedule. So if it's important to them, your boss will make a decision. Like last time I went back to the CEO or the MD or what, and say, which is important, you let me know. I can only do so many things in a day. Then whenever I don't feel good, I need to take a rest. I will just take a rest. Then after that, I will maybe if I need to see a doctor, I will see. But at that time, I hardly see doctor on. Although I got panel doctor or what, but I hardly see doctor. Maybe once a year. Otherwise, I hardly go and see them. So as you go through all this career and life, you will develop your own understanding. But the most important thing is with the Dhamma, with the mindfulness, when you are established in it, you become different. You look at things differently. You understand things differently. You become sensitive. Then your understanding will transform you. Personality wise, character wise, understanding wise, you become like very different. And you start to see you have developed the embodiment of the Noble Eightfold Path. When you develop the embodiment of the Noble Eightfold Path, you're very beautiful. The way you conduct yourself, the way you speak, interact with people, become very different. The embodiment of right view leading to right thought, right speech, right action. Then you see the manifestation of right livelihood. The way you live your life all fall into place, following the Dhamma way. And there's a lot of joy, and you smile more. Then you develop the joy through understanding more. And then you have more metta, more loving kindness. Then you meditate very often throughout the day. Then every time you meditate, you actually calm yourself down. Then you develop the awareness within, you stabilize it. So all this are what cultivator will do. So for you, I think this phase of life is going to be beautiful. Because your company is a very good company. Statutory body, don't have to worry. Then you work until maybe you retire. Then you receive your pension. Then everything will come along. You also maybe have some gratuity. Oh no. What golden handshake? They say. You accumulate enough leave.
Yeah.
3 months pay, I think, maximum last time. Now I don't know.
They stopped the golden handshake when I accumulated up to 9 days. Yeah, they changed it, so I only have 9 days. for golden handshake.
Oh, okay. But every year is that you can accumulate.
Oh, cannot already. In the beginning.
That's it, no more already.
No more already. They stopped it when I had 9 days. I accumulated 9 days and then they stopped it.
At least better than nothing.
Yeah.
During
It's
our
okay.
time, we can accumulate 90 days. My wife was.
Yeah.
But quite a lot of money, even my wife got it that time.
But
So,
brother, when I realized that it was the workload, that there was some kind of calmness and acceptance.
Yeah, sadhu, that is very good. That is how the practitioner of Dhamma who have the mindfulness and the understanding will do. Then you become calm, peaceful. Then you know nothing. It's just workload, stress. So you learn how to actually develop the understanding to simplify things, to standardize things, and to be honest about it, like what I teach you. If the workload too much, go back to your boss, which is priority. Which one you want me to complete first? Then if you need more stuff, you talk to him. Is it unless you give him more stuff, I don't think I can handle all this. Then if you want to maybe get all this workload done, maybe you certain part of it you pass it on to somebody who is more free, who can handle all this. So all these are the understanding behind. Very good, sadhu.
But the thing is, my boss is aware and he has already distributed it quite evenly among the 3
Yeah, the 3 of you helping him. No problem.
But he already applied for a manager, extra manager, and a new officer, which has been approved.
You should put it, otherwise your section it will be overloaded. They should put in for headcount and all those things to come in.
Which they did.
Once the manager come in, easier for you already.
But that will take some time for them to apply this interview.
But sometimes because statutory body, if they want the staff, they can speed it up. Like last time when I was in this statutory body MU, when we need it urgently, they call the Pejawatan, immediately they hire. No need to go through advertisement, selection of candidate interview. Now where got such thing? Now everything is digital. Everything just come in, then they just maybe if they need to in their what they call government gazette, they will publish it, and a lot of people will actually read it and apply. Especially your Bank Negara side, a lot of people very interested to apply. But is he applying from internal promotion?
It can be that, or I think they will also advertise, so outside people can also apply.
Like that easier, like that they can get people quite fast. It's only whether he wants good people that he cannot find, or they have to wait if that's the case. Otherwise, they actually can appoint quite fast because there are a lot of people who are keen to work for your Bank Negara organization. Actually, it's very difficult to go into Bank Negara, not easy.
But Radia, I also realized the anxiety and the stress, even when I have stopped working, like, if I go for a holiday or during the retreat, it is still there at the back of the brain somewhere.
I told you the subtle one behind. Back of your brain still questioning and doing all those things. No problem. This will come to pass on that phase later on. That's why now you are more aware. You can see all this. Because actually, by right, for us cultivator of the way, when we are at the retreat, means we make full use of it and no need to worry about what happened. But if it's something, the news that maybe affects your family, your work or what, you just make a note of it. Then if it's not urgent, just let things be. Then deal with it after everything finish. Then that thing will not be like lingering behind. Understand? Reminding you, hey, this one office call, then you keep on worrying about it. Then it become like attachment. The Paticca Samuppada starts to develop its movement. Then the worry, the fear, the anxiety, although it's subtle behind. So all this you start to see. That's why self-knowledge through mindfulness and awareness is very important. When we see them, we reflect on it, contemplate on it. Why should we develop all this projection of mind, like you come to understand? Develop the acceptance. Accept that these are the realities of life and existence. When I'm back after the retreat, it is not urgent or important. Just solve it, resolve it, get it attend to. But before that, just make a note. You can write down something or keep a notepad in your handphone so that when you go back, you open it up, then you read, and then you know these are the things you need to attend to. Then sometimes when it comes to WhatsApp, the reply can be short, precise, and neat, and no need to like panic or what. Then need to apologize. Just apologize. I'm really sorry. I'm still at the retreat. I cannot be back until when. So you can get people to sort it out will be better. Otherwise, wait till I come back.
Yeah. Actually, during the retreat also, there were a few things that one was personal where I think I was quite calm in handling it lah.
Yeah, because now you are different already.
Yeah.
You have the understanding already. That's why you can handle it quite calmly. Not like normal people, normal time, excited, panic, and all those things. Then the first thing is worry first. This is very good understanding. That's why with mindfulness, you start to develop a lot of self-knowledge, understanding of how we function as a human being. Who are we? What are we? Then you start to see all this. It is what we believe and hold on to. Then it condition all this. But like the Buddha said, suffering need not be. Why must you project your thought and develop the fear, worry, and anxiety? You must perceive everything with understanding, following the Dhamma way, means with right view. Accept the reality for what it will happen really. Condition like that, things will be like that. And then with a calm mind, reflect, contemplate. How can I resolve this amicably so that I can move on? Because life is a matter of understanding it, resolving it amicably, following the Dhamma way. Then no more issue, no more problem. No need to worry, no need to panic. Because everything that happens, like the Buddha said, whatever that arises, there are causes and conditions behind. So this is the reality. This is what is. So when we have this understanding, we are at peace. And when we are at peace, then our mind has clarity. There is no fear, no worry, no anxiety. That's why, like the Buddha said, suffering need not be. No matter what happened. Just like the Mandarin saying, 天塌下来都没事. Even the heaven collapse in front of you also no problem. You don't worry. You just with the understanding develop the wisdom to come to terms with that reality, and acceptance will free your mind. And then you do what you have to do. There's no need to worry, no need to fear, no need to perceive things negatively. But these are reality. Reality means not only we confront everybody who go through life long enough, they may have to confront. So when the time comes, the difference between one who suffer and one who doesn't suffer is the understanding, the Dhamma behind. When you have the Dhamma, you become different. And all this you start to experience more and more now, and which is very good for you. Sadhu.
Radio, when I was in the hospital, they put me in the yellow zone. Later on, they put me in the observation zone. But when I was there, they were all around me.
also a lot of other patients, and Brother Teo really too charming. I can see them, some of them grounding.
A lot of them suffer.
Grounding, calling out people's name, then shouting out in pain, their face all sad.
Very common. Hospital is what sick people are. Actually, they all got a lot of karmic, what they call friction. So we call it the karmic energy that manifests. And a lot of this is towards the end of their life. They will have all this karmic consciousness that take over, and they really beyond their control anymore. That's why they suffer. Not only you say that, in fact, a lot of people who got hospitalized that day, Sam's wife was also warded for dengue. He shared room in the private hospital with 4 persons. A lot of the one in her room one, like what you described, they were actually in pain, and couldn't take it and all those things. And this is what karmic affliction is all about. So when the time comes, you don't take care of karma, you don't know how to develop the understanding, the wisdom to endure. Because some of these are karmic, and you need to endure. But normally in the hospital, we should recuperate and recover very fast. We got nothing to do, understand? We just relax inside there, silent, everything. Then all the medical attention is there. Like you say, every 3 hours they take your blood test, your reading, the nurse. They will come and give you the medication, everything. Then the specialist, the doctor will come around. And I find it quite well managed. When you are in the hospital, you are actually quite well managed, unless your case is like those people having very chronic one, then they need to actually through the test result discuss it. Then sometimes they also don't know what to do with you, because maybe that disease is beyond the hospital's capability. Like last time I came to know one case, I got a classmate. Actually, he was also my roommate in the 3rd year and 4th year. He got this heart problem, complication. Then they realized the calcification of the artery at that time for his case was so bad that normal angioplasty cannot work now. And no surgeon dare to operate on him, no, because it's too difficult an operation. So that news spread now in the one of the local specialist center. Then he accidentally met one of his hometown's friend now, who is also a doctor there. Then that friend recalled that his name is that surname now, To. So because of that, he said, "You are the one." So luckily he advised him, he said, they also don't know what to do with you. You have to seek alternative treatment, right? Get another specialist or surgeon, a very good one to help you. So finally, luckily, he went to another specialist hospital, I think, based on people's advice. He managed to get hold of this, what they call the Hussein on's son-in-law, who operate on Mahathir one. He now also quite old already, but he still performs surgery. Then he went and see him. Luckily, this surgeon dared to do it for him. He said, "Yeah," he said, "what they told you is true. Nobody dare to do it for you except him," he said. That's why he took up the case. And they did the bypass for him, and he survived. He survived for, I think, about 8 or 9 years. So sometimes it's karmic, because the way it happened, the calcification of that few artery was very difficult. Maybe at that time the technology was not there. So now there is a special technology. They say they can break it down and just take it out. So now a lot, no need to go through bypass. The angel can actually resolve it, I was told. So these are for sharing. I'm not referring to you, don't worry. Your palpitation is nothing. But this one is Atrion. Atrion man has to be careful. Okay,
Yeah.
Maya, Sadhu.
Yeah. Brother Teo, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, anything else?
Nothing else already, Brother Teo.
Don't have, then we wrap it up. So we will do the sharing of marriage, the transfer of marriage, then we end. Okay, let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Akasata Chil Bumata Devanaga Mahindika Punyang Tang Anamoditwa Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasana Itta Wata Chamehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabasampati Siddhya Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Devo asatu kalina sasa sampati hetu cha. Vito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamina mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu Sadhu. Okay, we all can now maybe pay respect to Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy one. Then we end. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.